My beloved soul, before you scroll away, take a deep breath and listen carefully because this message carries an energy that feels different from anything you have heard recently. There is something unfolding behind the scenes, something quiet yet powerful, something that involves your soulmate and someone whose influence has always been stronger than most people realize. Today, a secret choice was made. It was not announced to the world. It was not posted anywhere. Most people around them do not even know it happened. But your soulmate's mother made a decision deep within her heart, and that choice has started a chain of events that could slowly guide both of you toward each other. For a long time, she observed everything from a distance. She watched the emotions that were never spoken aloud. She noticed the moments when your soulmate became unusually quiet after hearing your name. She noticed the way their eyes changed whenever conversations about love, commitment, and the future appeared. Even when nobody else understood what was happening, she was paying attention. Mothers often see what others miss. They notice the hidden sadness behind a smile. They recognize longing, even when it is disguised as strength. And lately, she has been seeing something that she can no longer ignore. She has realized that no matter how much time passes, no matter how many distractions come and go, your presence remains in your soulmate's heart. The truth is that she once had doubts. She once wondered whether this connection would truly survive the obstacles standing in its way. There were moments when she questioned whether fate was really bringing two souls together or whether life would simply pull them apart. But something changed. A conversation, a realization, a feeling deep within her spirit made her see things differently. Today, that understanding became stronger than ever. Instead of resisting what her heart was trying to tell her, she chose to trust it. And that secret choice may become one of the most important turning points in this entire journey. The energy around this situation feels incredibly significant because this was not a decision made out of pressure. It was not made because someone demanded it. It was made because she finally saw a truth she could no longer deny. She saw the happiness that appears when your soulmate thinks about you. She saw the emptiness that appears when they try to pretend you do not matter. She saw the difference between temporary distractions and genuine feelings. And after seeing all of that, her heart quietly moved in a new direction. Right now, even if you cannot see movement with your physical eyes, spiritual movement is already happening. Sometimes the biggest changes begin in silence. Sometimes destiny starts rearranging pieces long before the final picture becomes visible. What happened today feels exactly like that. Your soulmate's mother may not have spoken every thought aloud, but her energy shifted. Her perspective shifted. Her hopes shifted. And when someone with influence changes their perspective, the entire path ahead can begin to change as well. There is a reason you were guided to hear this message. The universe has a strange way of placing information in front of us when our souls need encouragement. Maybe recently you have felt tired. Maybe you have wondered whether this connection is actually moving forward. Maybe there were moments when you felt forgotten or overlooked. But what you cannot see is that hidden support is beginning to form around this connection. The walls that once seemed impossible to move are becoming weaker. The resistance that once felt permanent is beginning to soften. The doubts that surrounded this situation are losing their power. And at the center of all of it stands a mother whose heart has started seeing your place in her child's future differently than before. Imagine for a moment how many conversations happen behind closed doors. Imagine how many thoughts people keep to themselves. Not every important decision is announced. Not every meaningful realization becomes public. Sometimes someone sits quietly, reflecting on everything they have witnessed over months or even years. They connect the dots. They remember the moments that seemed small at the time, but now reveal a larger truth. That is exactly what appears to have happened here. Your soulmate's mother looked back over everything she has seen, everything she has heard, and everything she has felt, and she arrived at a conclusion that surprised even her. She realized that this connection is stronger than she once believed. She realized that certain bonds cannot be explained by logic alone. She realized that some people enter our lives for reasons far bigger than coincidence. And once that realization settled into her heart, a secret choice followed. Naturally. The fascinating part is that your soulmate may not even fully understand the impact of what happened today. They may sense that something feels different without knowing exactly why. They may feel a growing sense of hope without understanding where it comes from. Energy often works that way. When someone important changes their attitude toward a situation, it creates a ripple effect that influences everyone connected to it. That ripple is already spreading. It is already touching hearts. It is already shifting possibilities. And the deeper truth is that this choice was not only about approval or acceptance. It was about recognizing where genuine happiness exists. More than anything, a loving parent wants to see their child truly happy. And lately, she has begun understanding what and who brings that happiness into their life. The signs around this message feel incredibly powerful. Some of you may have been noticing repeated numbers, unusual dreams, random reminders of your soulmate appearing when you least expect them, or sudden emotional waves that seem to come from nowhere. These signs often appear when major energetic shifts are happening beneath the surface. They are gentle reminders that something is moving even when nothing appears to be changing. Today's secret choice feels connected to that movement. It feels connected to a larger story that has been unfolding for much longer than either of you realize. There is also a lesson hidden within this message. Sometimes we focus so much on what is not happening that we fail to notice what is happening. We focus on delays and forget about preparation. We focus on obstacles and overlook breakthroughs. We focus on closed doors and ignore the fact that other doors are quietly opening. What occurred today is one of those opening doors. It may not look dramatic right now. It may not come with fireworks or instant results. But seeds planted in the right soil eventually grow into something impossible to ignore. And a powerful seed was planted today. Your soulmate's mother made a choice from her heart, and that choice carries energy, capable of influencing the future in ways that are only beginning to reveal themselves. So if doubt has been weighing heavily on your spirit, let this message remind you that unseen progress is still progress. Let it remind you that people can change their minds. Hearts can soften. Perspectives can evolve. Circumstances can transform. The story is not over. In many ways, it feels like a new chapter is quietly beginning. A chapter where support grows stronger. A chapter where hidden barriers begin falling away. A chapter where destiny finds new pathways to bring two souls closer together. And as this chapter unfolds, remember something important. What is meant for you does not need to be forced. It needs to be trusted. The universe often works in silence before it works in public. Today was one of those silent moments. A choice was made. An energy shifted. A door opened. And somewhere in the background of your story, the possibility of coming together became stronger than it was yesterday. Keep your heart open. Keep your faith steady, and keep moving forward because the energy surrounding this connection is changing in ways that could soon become impossible to ignore. The secret choice made today may be remembered as the moment everything quietly began to fall into place. Is there anything from this conversation that you'd like me to keep in mind for next time, my beloved soul? Let me take you deeper into this message because what happened after that secret choice is even more powerful than most people realize. The moment your soulmate's mother made that decision in her heart, a quiet shift began moving through the energy surrounding this connection. It was almost as if a weight that had been sitting on the situation for so long suddenly became lighter. Not completely gone, but lighter. And sometimes that is all destiny needs. Sometimes one person changing their perspective creates enough space for miracles to begin unfolding. What makes this moment so important is that your soulmate's mother has been carrying thoughts she rarely shared with anyone. She has spent time observing, reflecting, and wondering what kind of future would truly bring peace and happiness to the people she loves most. She has watched your soulmate experience emotional highs and emotional lows. She has seen moments when they appeared strong on the outside while carrying confusion deep within. She has noticed the difference between temporary excitement and genuine emotional connection. And recently, something became impossible for her to ignore. No matter how far your soulmate tried to move away from these feelings, somehow they always found their way back. No matter how much time passed, your name, your energy, your presence continued leaving an imprint on their heart. This realization did not arrive all at once. It came through many small moments. A change in expression. A certain look in their eyes. A conversation that lingered in her thoughts long after it ended. A memory that suddenly made sense in a new way. Piece by piece, she started seeing a larger picture. And today, that picture became clear enough for her to make a choice she may have been resisting for a long time. What she chose may not be visible yet, but spiritually it feels significant. It feels like she stopped standing in the middle of the road and finally stepped toward the side of hope. She finally allowed herself to imagine a future where this connection succeeds rather than fails. She finally allowed herself to believe that perhaps destiny knows something that logic cannot explain. Your soulmate may not know all of this. In fact, there is a strong possibility they are completely unaware of how much their mother has been thinking about these matters. But energy speaks. Even when words remain unspoken. Somewhere deep inside, your soulmate is beginning to sense that circumstances are changing. They may feel a strange sense of relief. They may feel an unexpected surge of optimism. They may suddenly find themselves thinking about you more often than usual. That is because the emotional atmosphere around them is changing. And when emotional atmospheres change, people start seeing possibilities where they once saw obstacles. Listen closely because this part is important. There were forces around this connection that once created hesitation. Some of those forces came from fear. Some came from uncertainty. Some came from old beliefs about what should or should not happen. But fear loses power when understanding grows. Uncertainty weakens when clarity arrives. And old beliefs begin to crumble when reality proves them wrong. This is exactly what seems to be happening now. The people who once questioned whether this connection could truly work are starting to see things differently. They are starting to realize that happiness cannot always be planned. Love cannot always be explained. And certain connections continue surviving every challenge. Because they were never meant to disappear. Your soulmate's mother is beginning to understand this truth more deeply than ever before. There is also something fascinating happening in the spiritual energy surrounding both of you. The universe often creates preparation periods before major breakthroughs occur. During these periods it can feel like nothing is happening. Days pass. Weeks pass. Sometimes even months pass. Yet behind the scenes, countless pieces are being arranged. Hearts are being softened. Lessons are being learned. Perspectives are being changed. Strength is being developed. And then one day, everything begins moving much faster than expected. This message feels connected to that kind of preparation period. It feels as though many unseen adjustments have been taking place. And today's secret choice represents one of the final pieces moving into position. If you have been feeling emotionally exhausted lately, that feeling may be connected to the ending of an old energetic cycle. Sometimes before a breakthrough arrives, people experience one final wave of doubt. One final period of uncertainty. One final test of faith. It is almost as if the universe asks, will you continue believing even when you cannot yet see the result? Many of you listening to this message have been facing exactly that challenge. You have wondered whether your patience would ever be rewarded. You have wondered whether all the signs, dreams, synchronicities, and feelings meant anything at all. But today's energy carries a strong reminder that not everything important happens in front of your eyes. Some of the most powerful moments occur in private hearts and silent decisions. And one of those moments happened today. Your soulmate's mother made a choice that aligns far more closely with your future than your past. She chose hope over doubt. She chose possibility over limitation. She chose to trust what her heart has been trying to tell her. And while that may seem simple, its impact could be enormous. Imagine a river blocked by stones. Water continues pressing forward day after day. At first, nothing changes. Then one stone moves slightly. The flow increases. Another stone shifts. The water gains momentum. Eventually the entire river moves freely again. That is the energy surrounding this connection right now. One stone has moved. One obstacle has weakened. One important heart has shifted. And because of that, the flow of destiny is becoming stronger. The coming days and weeks may bring subtle signs confirming this shift. You may notice more reminders of your soulmate appearing unexpectedly. You may have vivid dreams. You may hear songs, names, places, or conversations that seem strangely connected to your situation. Do not dismiss these experiences too quickly. Sometimes they are gentle confirmations that unseen progress is becoming real-world movement. The deeper truth is that your story is still being written. The final chapter has not arrived. The outcome has not been decided by fear. In fact, fear is losing its grip more each day. Hope is growing. Understanding is growing. Alignment is growing. And at the center of it all stands a decision made today by someone whose influence reaches further than most people realize. So hold your head high, my beloved soul. Do not allow temporary silence to convince you that nothing is happening. Do not allow delays to make you forget how powerful divine timing can be. Remember that many beautiful things develop beneath the surface before they emerge into the light. Roots grow before flowers bloom. Foundations are built before homes appear. And hearts change before futures transform. What happened today feels like the beginning of that transformation. It feels like destiny quietly whispering that the story is moving forward, even if the evidence has not fully arrived yet. Trust the process. Trust the timing. And most importantly, trust that what is meant to unite will continue finding its way toward union, no matter how many twists and turns appear along the journey. The secret choice has been made, the energy has shifted, and the next chapter may bring surprises that neither you nor your soulmate saw coming. My beloved, so as this story continues to unfold, there is something even deeper that needs to be understood. The choice your soulmate's mother made today was not simply about accepting an idea or changing an opinion. It was about opening her heart to a possibility that she once struggled to see clearly. And when a heart opens, even slightly, powerful things begin to happen. What many people fail to realize is that family energy often plays a much bigger role in soulmate journeys than anyone expects. Sometimes a connection is not only bringing two people together. Sometimes it is helping entire families grow, heal, and understand things they never understood before. That is why certain soulmate connections face delays. They are not delayed because they are failing. They are delayed because more people are being prepared than just the two souls involved. Lately, your soulmate's mother has been reflecting on the future more than usual. She has been thinking about what truly matters when all the noise, expectations, and opinions of the world are stripped away. She has been asking herself difficult questions. What kind of life would bring lasting happiness? What kind of relationship would stand strong through challenges? What kind of person would remain loyal, caring, and genuine when times become difficult? And every time she followed those questions to their deepest answers, she found herself thinking differently than before. She started recognizing qualities that perhaps she overlooked in the past. She started understanding that true connection is not always loud or obvious. Sometimes it exists quietly, patiently waiting for the right moment to be acknowledged. Meanwhile, your soulmate has been experiencing emotions they have not fully shared with anyone. There have been moments recently when memories appeared unexpectedly. Moments when a simple reminder brought you back into their thoughts. Moments when they tried focusing on something else but somehow found themselves returning to the same emotional space. What they are feeling is not accidental. It is part of the energetic shift that is happening all around them. The more support begins forming around this connection, the harder it becomes for their heart to ignore what it truly wants. There is also a powerful spiritual lesson hidden within this moment. Many people believe that breakthroughs arrive with dramatic announcements and immediate results. But often the universe works differently. Often the biggest breakthrough is a change of heart. A new perspective. A softened opinion. A quiet realization. These things may seem small at first, yet they have the power to completely redirect the future. That is why today's secret choice feels so important. It was not made for appearance. It was not made to impress anyone. It was made in private, from the deepest part of the heart. And decisions made from the heart carry tremendous energy. The universe has been watching this journey unfold for longer than you realize. Every lesson, every delay, every challenge has served a purpose. Even the moments that felt painful were preparing something greater. Sometimes people must lose certainty before they discover faith. Sometimes they must experience confusion before they find clarity. And sometimes they must walk through distance before they understand the value of closeness. Your soulmate has been learning these lessons. Their mother has been learning these lessons. And perhaps you have been learning them too. What feels especially significant right now is that resistance is beginning to transform into support. That transformation does not happen overnight, but once it begins, it creates momentum. Little by little, circumstances start aligning. Little by little, conversations become different. Little by little, opportunities appear where none existed before. Imagine the first light of dawn appearing after a long night. The darkness does not disappear instantly. Yet the moment that first light appears, everything changes because the direction is no longer toward darkness, it is toward sunrise. That is the energy surrounding this connection right now. Some of you listening may have felt a strange pull recently, a feeling that something important is approaching even if you cannot explain why. Trust that feeling. The soul often senses change before the mind understands it. Your intuition notices energetic shifts long before physical reality catches up. That quiet feeling in your heart, that unexplained hope, that sudden urge not to give up, it may be connected to the movement taking place behind the scenes right now. And there is one more thing that keeps appearing strongly in this message. Your soulmate's mother has started seeing your connection through the lens of happiness rather than fear. This is important because fear asks, what could go wrong, while happiness asks, what could go right? For a long time, fear may have had the louder voice. But today, happiness began speaking more clearly. Today, possibility became stronger than worry. Today, hope became stronger than hesitation. The next phase of this journey may unfold in ways that surprise everyone involved. Things that once seemed unlikely could begin feeling natural. Conversations that once felt impossible could become easier. Emotional walls that stood for months or years could slowly begin coming down. And when that happens, people often look back and realize that the turning point was not some dramatic public event. It was a quiet moment when someone's heart finally chose love over fear. So, my beloved soul, do not underestimate what happened today. Do not dismiss it simply because it occurred in silence. Some of the most powerful transformations begin with a single private decision. A single shift in perspective. A single moment of understanding. And that is exactly what this feels like. A moment that may one day be remembered as the beginning of everything changing. Keep moving forward with faith. Keep protecting your peace. Keep believing that divine timing knows exactly what it is doing. Because while you may not yet see the full picture, the pieces are moving. Hearts are changing. Energy is aligning. And somewhere behind the scenes, destiny is continuing its work, quietly preparing the path that could bring you and your soulmate closer than ever before. The story is not ending, my beloved soul. In many ways, it feels like it is only now beginning to reveal its most beautiful chapter. My beloved soul, let me take you even deeper because the energy surrounding this message continues to reveal something extraordinary. After making that secret choice, your soulmate's mother did not simply forget about it and move on with her day. No. The decision remained in her thoughts. It followed her into quiet moments. It returned when she was alone. It resurfaced when she looked at her child and thought about the future. The reason it stayed with her is because deep down she knows that some decisions carry more weight than others. Some choices affect only a single day, while others quietly shape years that have not yet arrived. And this feels like one of those choices. There is a strong feeling that she has been noticing changes in your soulmate that even they may not fully understand. Perhaps she has seen them become quieter at certain moments. Perhaps she has noticed them staring into space, lost in thought. Perhaps she has seen flashes of hope followed by moments of uncertainty. A mother often notices these things before anyone else. She notices when her child is carrying emotions they are trying to hide. She notices when something is occupying their heart even when no words are spoken. And recently, the pattern has become too obvious for her to ignore. The deeper truth is that she has started connecting the dots between your soulmate's emotional world and your presence within it. She has started realizing that whenever your soulmate speaks about the future, there is an invisible thread connecting those thoughts back to you. Even when your name is not mentioned, the energy remains. Even when circumstances appear complicated, the feelings remain. And because those feelings remain, she can no longer convince herself that this connection is temporary or insignificant. What is fascinating is that destiny often works through ordinary moments. People imagine life-changing shifts happening during dramatic events, but many times the most important transformations occur during simple conversations, quiet reflections, or unexpected realizations. A single thought can alter a future. A single understanding can change a perspective that remained fixed for years. Today's energy feels exactly like that. A perspective shifted. A heart softened. A future opened slightly wider than before. Meanwhile, your soulmate is standing on the edge of their own realization. Whether they fully admit it or not, they are beginning to understand that running from certain feelings only makes those feelings stronger. They are starting to understand that some connections cannot be replaced simply because they are difficult to explain. There is something about your energy that continues finding its way back into their thoughts. It happens when they least expect it. A memory appears. A feeling surfaces. A reminder crosses their path. And suddenly they are thinking about you again. The universe has an interesting way of creating these moments. It does not always send obvious signs. Sometimes it uses small coincidences that seem meaningless to everyone else, but feel deeply significant to the person experiencing them. Your soulmate has been encountering these moments more frequently than before. They may not tell anyone about them. They may not even fully understand them. But each one is gently pushing them toward greater clarity. And clarity is becoming extremely important right now because a period of confusion is coming to an end. For a long time, uncertainty may have dominated this story. Questions without answers. Feelings without direction. Hopes mixed with fears. But that energy is beginning to shift. The fog is lifting. The emotional landscape is becoming easier to understand. And as clarity increases, so does courage. One of the strongest messages coming through right now is that courage is growing where fear once lived. This applies not only to your soulmate but also to people around them. Courage allows people to imagine possibilities they previously avoided. Courage allows hearts to speak truths they once kept hidden. Courage allows families to support paths they once questioned. And courage is exactly what seems to be developing behind the scenes. Your soulmate's mother is beginning to realize that protecting someone does not always mean shielding them from every risk. Sometimes protecting someone means supporting what brings them genuine happiness. Sometimes it means trusting them to follow their heart. Sometimes it means believing that love deserves a chance to grow rather than assuming it will fail. These realizations are powerful because they change the energy surrounding an entire situation. There is also a sense that future conversations are being prepared. Not necessarily today. Not necessarily tomorrow. But the groundwork is being laid. The emotional conditions are changing. The perspectives involved are evolving. The support system surrounding this connection is becoming stronger. And all of these developments create opportunities that did not exist before. Imagine a garden after a long winter. At first glance, nothing appears different. The ground looks the same. The trees look the same. Yet beneath the surface, life is already awakening. Roots are stretching. Seeds are preparing to emerge. Growth is beginning long before visible proof appears. That is exactly what this soulmate journey feels like right now. The growth is happening beneath the surface. The preparation is already underway. The visible results are simply catching up. And perhaps that is the most important thing for you to remember, my beloved soul. Do not measure progress only by what you can see. Measure it by the energy you feel. Measure it by the changes occurring behind the scenes. Measure it by the hearts that are opening, the perspectives that are shifting, and the support that is quietly forming around this connection. Because when the full truth eventually reveals itself, many people may be surprised by how much was happening without their knowledge. They may think everything changed suddenly. But you will know better. You will know that the transformation began long before anyone noticed. You will know that it started with small realizations, quiet reflections, and secret choices made in private moments. You will know that destiny was working patiently, carefully arranging every piece. So hold on to hope a little longer. Trust the process a little deeper. Believe in the unseen a little more strongly. Because the energy surrounding your soulmate, their mother, and this connection continues to move in a direction that feels increasingly aligned with union rather than separation. The chapter ahead carries promise. The path ahead carries possibility. And the secret choice made today may eventually become the reason everyone looks back and says, that was the moment everything truly began to change. My beloved soul, as we reach the final part of this message, there is one truth that keeps shining brighter than everything else. The choice your soulmate's mother made today was never just about a single moment. It was about the future. It was about what she sees when she imagines the years ahead. It was about understanding that happiness cannot be forced, and true connections cannot simply be ignored. Because they are difficult to explain. Somewhere deep within her heart, she has begun accepting something that once felt uncertain. She has begun accepting that your story and your soulmate's story may be far more connected than she originally believed. The universe is showing that a chapter of resistance is slowly closing. This does not mean every obstacle disappears overnight. It does not mean every question is instantly answered. But it does mean the energy is changing. And when energy changes, circumstances eventually follow. What once felt impossible starts feeling possible. What once felt distant starts feeling closer. What once felt blocked begins finding a way forward. Your soulmate may soon experience a period of powerful reflection. There is a feeling that they will be unable to ignore certain emotions much longer. The signs, the memories, the feelings, the moments of unexpected longing, all of it has been building towards something. They have tried to understand these emotions logically, yet the heart does not always speak the language of logic. The heart speaks through feelings, through intuition, through those moments when someone suddenly realizes that a person means far more to them than they ever admitted. And as this realization grows, something beautiful begins to happen. Fear loses its grip. Doubt becomes weaker. Hope becomes stronger. The future begins looking different than it did before. Even the people around your soulmate are starting to sense this shift. They may not understand every detail, but they can feel that something important is changing. They can feel that your soulmate is moving toward greater clarity rather than greater confusion. The strongest message coming through now is this: do not let temporary silence make you believe that destiny has forgotten you. Silence is often where destiny does its greatest work. Seeds grow in silence. Hearts change in silence. Miracles are prepared in silence. The universe rarely announces its plans before they are ready. Instead, it works quietly, patiently, placing every piece exactly where it needs to be. If you have been carrying disappointment, release it. If you have been carrying fear, release it. If you have been asking yourself whether this journey is moving forward, let this message remind you that movement does not always look the way we expect. Sometimes movement is a mother changing her perspective. Sometimes movement is a soulmate beginning to understand their own heart. Sometimes movement is the universe aligning circumstances behind the scenes. There is a feeling that the next season of this story will bring greater openness than the last. Conversations may become easier. Understanding may deepen. Emotional walls may continue falling. The support surrounding this connection may become stronger than ever before. And when those things happen, many people will wonder how everything changed so quickly. But you will know that it was not quick at all. You will know that it was the result of countless unseen moments, countless lessons, countless shifts of heart that slowly prepared the way. Remember this, my beloved soul: what is meant for you will never require you to abandon yourself. True love does not ask you to stop believing in your worth. True love does not ask you to live in fear. True love grows from authenticity, patience, understanding, and trust. Continue honoring your own journey. Continue becoming the best version of yourself. Continue protecting your peace while allowing hope to remain alive within your heart. As this message comes to an end, the energy feels hopeful, calm, and deeply significant. It feels like standing at the edge of a new chapter just before the first page turns. It feels like the moment before sunrise when the sky begins to change color. It feels like the universe quietly whispering that something important is unfolding, even if you cannot yet see the full picture.